Spikers of Caliphate are already spiked 1 point through for this game, the very second match of match day 3, right here live at the National Division 1 Volleyball League. We are bringing you live inside the Indoor Sports Hall, Packet B, MKO Abiola National Stadium. Spikers of Caliphate already have gotten 2 points already inside the very first set of this game over their opponent, Spartans of Yola, and it is the very first set here. A lot can happen. We are just getting started. My name is Sean Pablo GCFI inside the commentary box. It's going to be an entertainment of sporting pleasures of all round 360. Anyhow you want it, of all degrees, you are welcome. I've got my man here, Samela, Malika, beg your pardon, Malika George. What happened? How come I just got You went away, didn't you?
You went away.
Who went away then?
You went away.
I went away. You
yeah,
went away.
no, I wasn't away. I was right here, right from the first match. I was here. I didn't see you. I know you got something else to do, but overall, the first match was really a banger, and the display of the game between Kwara and the Kasinas team, it was a great match. Right now, this match is ongoing. Well, I can really say for now what's really going to happen, but the Spartan Spikers looking so sharp. They're looking as if they should be the one who should take the day.
They look like they should take the day. They've come from behind by 2 points to make the last 4 points inside the very first set of this game. It is very much new for anyone to take, but as well as each does stand, it's about you going first, because when you get to the very critical point of it, getting 19 or 20, it's now about the amount difference you have that makes a lot of difference inside of it. And that shot will come in, but it spikes against his own net and give away a point to the Spartans of Yola. Spartans of Yola gradually crawling into it. They have now been able to open up a 3-point lead inside of it, having won the last 5 points, 5-2 Spartans of Yola, and only 2 are being made by Caliphate of Sokoto. The Spikers of Caliphate. Oh, another error. The libero there, unable to sight his player. Really something to talk about there. You look at that, how it happened. It wasn't looking like they had a great communication about themselves, about a team. He should have known better that the player was right in front of him, jersey number 6. Talk about Ido Abdul Rashid, but the libero couldn't sight all right. And then, what a point, what an easy way to give it away.
If you ask me, I would say the number 6 player was supposed to cross the ball, because the libero, the only thing he could do was to just cross the ball in the other half. That could be either with a dig pass or with a volley pass. That would be an easy one for the Caliphate Spikers, for the Spartans. But if the position 4 player would have been the one to spike the ball across, perhaps it would be a better chance for them to stand to defend the ball.
We come back to where the big spike come in and a great bump to set it on. But then that point will go in the way of the team that play from right to left, wearing the colors of white and a little bit of the blue right there. And the Spikers of Caliphate all the way from Sokoto State. This is where they have come to be for just 1 slot amongst 3 to getting into the Premier League of the National Premier. Well, we talk about volleyball in Nigeria. It hasn't really gotten to the very recognition or relevance of the kind of football does have. But volleyball has got its own beautiful emotions, it's got beautiful experiences, it's got its own beautiful way of enjoying the game. If you understand it, you are going to love the ride on every trip that you go. What do we say that really can catch the eyes of Nigeria when it comes to volleyball? Speaking as a player who did before.
Generally in Nigeria, they don't really give much prominence to every sport. All they think about is football, ignoring the fact that there are other sports that you can also watch and enjoy. Like if you look at volleyball and handball, like before now they hosted the handball championship right here in the National Stadium. It was a great performance, but we don't get to see the publicity and the awareness the people need to watch to see that they will give them that much confidence to think about other sports. But if the government could come out and make it more public, or to give the publicity, I think Nigerians were gonna like it that there are other sports they could also watch and enjoy apart from football.
Absolutely here, 11 points being made before the very first time of the game. And the team that made the very first 2 points gave away as massive as 8, only having 3 to their own tally. And a bumper well made, and a set for there, and a spike will drop, but it has a tip, but then it was out of line. I thought he had a tip to it. Maybe it was the net that he had, but there was kind of a little contact that kind of redirected the power or the direction of the shot.
Yeah, that ball he actually spiked out. In volleyball, you don't try to spike the ball, trying to cut the ball totally away from the blockers. You need to try to play the ball in the court. If the blockers touch it, that could also be a deflection and the ball could be out. But if you try to cut the ball 100%, the likelihood that you play the ball out is very high.
Very high now is the lead between Spartans of Yola and Spikers of Caliphate. Oh, but they miss out on a chance to get 1 point and add up to it. But right now, it is Spikers of Caliphate who have 5 points to go forward. They trail by 4, haven't considered 9. It is Spartans of Yola who will be looking forward to holding sway of their leadership. But we are still at the early stages of the very first set. Oh, that serve is not good enough. Way out of the baseline and give away a point to Spartans of Yola. For every point be made by Spikers of Caliphate, Spartans of Yola have made a double. Now, does it look like they are beginning to make themselves as favorites, or do you have any favorites coming into the game? First off, Malaka.
Yeah, earlier on I did tell you the Spartans look like a better side to win the match, but we could just judge right from this beginning. We could just see how it goes from the other side they could play, because the last match we watched, we could see the Kasuna State come up strongly from the last set, and they make it look as if they want to put the Kwara State in a big trouble. So if the Spartan Spikers being the favorite, if they don't take it all serious and get to joke with every point, I think they're going to find it very difficult or even lose the match.
And that is it. He just brought you one of the stories of one of the games that already are played today. The very first game of the day. What a spike that was to it. A super spike you want to call it. And it makes it for super duper 7 point right there on the board for the Spikers of Caliphate. They are now beginning to grow gradually into the game. Well, I was talking earlier about Kwara United, a team that has played 3 already in the tournament. They've won 2 and they've only dropped 1 game. It looking like Kwara United have come here with a mandate and they are sure living up to the beatings. 3-0 against Kasuna United. That is an impeccable result. I haven't seen the way they grinded out 1 yesterday against another opponent in the very opening game.
Yeah, the Kwara State came out real strong, knowing fully well that they need to take the whole 3 point back home. But it became kind of fluffy for them. But in the end, they get their game together and they eventually got the 3 points.
What a spike that was from Idowu Abdul-Rashid, jersey number 5 for Spikers of Caliphate. What a lead for a man who isn't up to the height of 6 feet, but he knows exactly what to do with that, and he didn't miss feet. They are down by 3 points now. A spike comes in, and his game is still in play, but the point is now being awarded, and to the Spartans of Yola, it comes a little bit of some contest there. Could you clarify what could have actually occurred between the officials and, of course, the players?
Well, if you ask me, I will tell you that was 4 touch from the Spartan side. But however, I don't really know what happened, but the referee sees a different thing.
A different experience was what the referee saw. But then he came back to help them restore. He gave them a big point. Talk about Abdul-Rashid. Well, we are beginning to see some players coming into it and trying to gain a name for themselves, but it has to be about consistency. And for Spartans of Yola, they have to be consistent. What a block that was! He hasn't got the height, but he has got what it takes, and he continues to be a force. Idowu Abdul-Rashid, what a block, winning the last 2 of 3 points for Spikers of Caliphate.
He was really a smaller or a shorter blocker compared to the hitter. But in volleyball, you can't always underestimate a blocker, because if he's small or short, you just need to try to play the ball backwards at least 6 to 7 meters away. If you try to grind the ball most often like in 3 meters, even shorter blockers has the opportunity to block you.
It is still the game on here at the very match day of 3. Match number 2 it is inside of it. The National Division 1 Volleyball League, where 3 teams got to get qualified to the Premier League for December, when we get to regroup as a family, as a force, and of course as a group that love the beautiful game of volley. We have come here to volley, and volley we must. 10 to Spikers of Caliphate. 14 Spartans of Yola. What a drop shot that was. Another savior. What a way to pull this through and get play in motion. A big spike. Took a deflection. They got the point. And Caliphates are really Spikers of Caliphate have got this point that really got them even closer now. Only 3 is the difference. 11 against 14. The Spikers of Caliphate can actually believe. And he sets it all right, but drops back in his own part of the court. Tries to return it and play, but against his own net. And Spikers of Caliphate again have gained the last 3 points in a game. Now only but 2 is the difference. It used to be as massive as 5, as 6, but it's now been cut short. Only 2.
Yeah, the Spartan team, like right now, the 2-3 point before now, the first pass was giving them a little difficulty. You could see this particular serve, they passed it well, and the middleman executed nicely. So that is what I think they should keep doing.
They gotta keep doing it and doing it right. It's the only way that they can get a game inside of it. The Spikers of Caliphate have dropped 2 games already. It is their 3rd game in the season, and they're looking for their first win. They trail here now by a total of 4 points. It is 16-12. It could have been better for them. They came closer, but it's not close enough if you don't close the game. We will head out for a timeout. Don't go anywhere. We're still right at the commentary box, and it is still live. Match number 2 on match day 3, where we are experiencing the National Division 1 Volleyball League. Don't go anywhere. My name is Sean Pablo GCFL. We resume action here inside the indoor sports hall package B MQ Better National Stadium, and Spartans of Yola are really trying to make the very first of it count, but the points again will count for them as they take their tally to 17, only but 8 away from the first set, while the Spikers of Caliphate are grinding. They're grinding themselves gradually, but they seem to be far away no matter how close they try to get. The Spikers of Caliphate here will not really like to drop this game. The very first game they should have played was a loss for them, a walkover in favor of their opponent as a result of them not being able to regroup accordingly, and they lost their second game to Kwara United, a 3-0 thrashing from their Funja boys. Their Funja boys have made it 3-3 in the tournament, but for Caliphate Spikers, beg pardon, they will have to at least open their campaign here with a win, the very first win they can actually celebrate. But right now they seem to be down by 5 points, 13-18. What have they got to do at least for them not to lose out in this first set?
I don't think they really have much to do when it comes to this match and trying to win this match. I think they have little to do because the Spartan side, they come out, they mean business, and they know they really need to win this set because the chances or the number of teams that should progress to the Premiership is just is limited to 3. So if they know any other match they have to play today, tomorrow, or whenever regarding this Division 1, they know they have to win every other match that comes their way.
They have got to be able to be there to take all games, but that will be a lot of pressure on them. The only way they can get to reduce or release themselves of the pressure is to start winning. The only way to get in the Premier League is to win and qualify into it. Spartans of Yola, they are now living up to the beating with a 19 point for themselves against 14. A 5-point lead being open. They're only 6 away from getting their very first set. And a serve now will come through from the man, Francis Robert. Serves it all right, drops right at the baseline, but then a spike was set up and it's perfectly well by that same man who continued to be a thorn in the flesh of the opponent, Idowu Abdul Rashidi. He has got it. He continues to bring it to the court. Spikers of Caliphate might not be having a good game so far, but Idowu Rashidi has put up some very good numbers inside even the very first set.
Yeah, you could call him the little man in this championship or in this particular match, but he's so little, but he's doing things that big players could do. Like I remember a great volleyball coach once would tell me, it is not the size of the dog that matter, but the fight in the dog.
It is about a fight, and the fighting Abdul Rashid Ido is super larger and even bigger and even mightier, and you can even look at him in a physical appearance. They are now ended up this very one with a 2-point deficit. They can come back from the timeout if they can hold their ground and continue consistency. They just might be back at it. Don't go anywhere. We will be back at it.